We had farewells, goodbyes, and brawls in the latest episode of Tulsa King. Welcome back to Fog Entertainment. It is season 1, episode 4, Visitation Place. And what did Sylvester Stallone get up to in this episode? Well, we kicked off this one where the last one ended. He's at the guy's house who tried to kill him. And you know what, right? This guy, obviously being an ex-mafia, I don't think he might have been a capo, I'm not too sure. But Dwight confronts him here and he reveals that Dwight was essentially set up by New York, and that he fled because he feared they would kill him for exposing the truth. How much can Dwight really trust at this guy's mouth? I'm not too sure, right? Big Dwight Manfredi. He lets him live, but it looks like this guy's going to join, the crew. And you look at the crew, right? You've got Dwight, you've got all these hippies at the weed shop, and then you've got, Michael Beach's son. And potentially Michael Beach this episode is like the dream team. And also Mad Guy or Mad King, Mad Eyes, whatever he's called. Mad Face, is that his name? The Indian guy who sells the weed. He's a pretty mad individual. It's the biggest group of misfits, but I'm kind of digging the group. I like the fact this show's kind of treating itself like a comedy in a way, but you've still got the seriousness of Stallone. So, finding out this at the beginning about the fact that New York could have potentially set him up, will that ever resolve in, Manfredi, Dwight, going back to New York to shoot a few scalpings of his own? Probably not. But what we do see, though, is he goes to get a new suit, and the guy's like, this would suit you, big man. Cowboy suit here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But Dwight's like, nah, that's no my style. I want the New York sort of style suit. But then he rallies the troops, and as he's rallying the troops, Michael Beach, T.O. walks in, and he's like, son, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And obviously, he's having these like verbal back and forth with his son earlier in the episode. He's like, well, if you think you can earn with this gangster, this criminal, then how about you leave the fucking house? You could have went to college. But see, at the end of the day, he had a busted lip for the last episode getting punched, but it's not like the most insane thing. Crazier things have happened, so to speak, if we're being honest about it. And also the ex-mafia guy from New York, he has to pay Dwight $300, but he can't afford the $300, so he steals this like statue that's worth like 10 or 20 grand, and he's like, right, Dwight, there you go, there's a statue. He's like, well, how the fuck am I going to sell this if they think you stole it? If I try and sell it, they're going to think I'm stole it. And it's like, Jesus, I know this guy was ex-mafia, but he seems quite rusty, man. Ain't quite the same as the late 90s. So yeah, Stallone, after the whole beatdown and, the drugs being hoovered after him, the helium gas that they've been pumping out of these tanks, he unites this crew, Michael Beach and all. They go in with their baseball bats, even this fat guy. It is literally, every race under the sun is here, every shape and size, every religion led by Sylvester Stallone. But, normally that would feel woke to me, but this actually felt pretty good. This felt like an absolute fucking disaster waiting to happen. And you know what? It was. They go into the amusement park, the funfair, and they lay the smack down, Right, but no, I didn't like about this scene. Even though I liked this scene, cutting away from it was like the love interest, potentially, of Dwight. Her, doing nothing this episode, went for a drink, and this guy brings her home. And am I supposed to care? We've got like literally every main character in this show in a big fist fight here. In like a 5-minute fist fight against these bikers. I can't even remember what the MC's called, right? If they get a bit more relevant, maybe I'll remember the name. But why do we care what she's doing? She's out drinking. She's a fucking nobody, man. And like, I get it. Maybe they're trying to keep her relevant, but she's a police officer. She is DEA. There is other ways to keep her relevant in this show other than have her go for a drink and a guy bring her home. What's that doing for me? That's not doing nothing, right? So yeah, they get battered, the bikers, but it's not like Dwight and all don't get battered a wee bit as well. They share a wee drink at the bar, the wee victory drink. Michael Beach, I'll learn your name, son. He's like, son, there's always going to be a house for you back home, but you got to make your choice. Doesn't take the money for Stallone, Dwight, and then Dwight's dishing out money to everyone who helped him. It's like, oh, good. Then he gets home, and it turns out his brother's dying. So he FaceTimes him. 75-year-old Sylvester Stallone is using FaceTime, folks. And he's like, you remember when Pappy told us to get that ice cream? But his brother's like in a coma state here. He can only squeeze. He can't talk or really communicate apart from squeezing. So he squeezes like, yes. He's like, oh, that was great, big man. Rest easy. Frank, I think his name was. And then he passes away. But it's like, it's such a weird thing. Like, normally here, you would have like an embrace, you would hug him, you would do something with him, then you'd leave the hospital room. All he does is press the big X on his fucking screen as his brother passes away. It's like, that's a wee bit pish, isn't it? And then the episode ends with the ex-mafia guy battering the guy with dog shite whose dog's been shiting on his lawn. And that's it. That's us wrapping this episode up. So, you know what? I enjoyed this episode. Probably the best episode of the series. So, I mean, there's only been 4 episodes. So I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. I thought this was quite a good, wee, fun episode about the battle. I enjoyed it. Easily the best scene of the show for me so far. But Stallone, he's just almost like too much of a step above the rest of everyone else. It's like, how am I ever going to care about anyone else's characters here? It's a problem, but let's see if they can rectify it. But anyway, guys, till next time, 7 out of 10. Peace.